Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our pre-conference live for the She Belong I Am Fearless conference that will be taking place on Friday, June 28th and the 29th at the MoCA, the Museum of Contemporary Arts in Virginia Beach. You do not want to miss it. So I encourage you tonight to go on www.shebelong.com and register today. Reserve your seat, secure your place. And if don't worry, if you don't have the entire fee today, we do have the ability. I believe it's a firm that you can pay today and worry about it. Register today and worry about it later, right? And so tonight we've been introducing to you all of the speakers. We introduced Whitney, the comedian, aka Shantae. She finna get saved again, y'all. She is phenomenal. We met the Winfluencer, Sherry Harper, Minister Sherry Harper, and tonight we have the pleasure of meeting the Mistress of Ceremony. She is phenomenal. She's a YouTuber. She is a broker in the state of North Carolina. She's a momfluencer. You're gonna love to meet her. She's so phenomenal. I love her to life. And I introduce to you tonight our Mistress of Ceremony, Carla Coco McBynum.
That was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I am so proud to call you my sister, my cousin, my mentor. Just thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes.
Well, I had to. I wanted to be here for you to support you through everything. So thank you so much for trusting me for this particular event. This is an amazing experience so far, and I can't wait to see what happens on the 28th and 29th of June.
Yeah.
It's coming up so quickly too.
I know. At first we had 6 months, and now it's like we're down to the count. And so, it's going fast, but it's gonna be phenomenal. I think that this conference is going to be life-changing. It is going to be life-changing for every single person that steps through that door. Because I don't know about you, but for many years I lived in fear of failing, fear of success, fear of what people think, fear of what they're going to say. And now that God has delivered me from people, he's delivered me from fear, they better watch out.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing is going to stop me. I know that fear is a liar. Fear is an absolute liar. And it has so many. I even prayed today for women that want to register, but they're afraid. Like fear have you so locked in that you miss out. Yeah, you miss out on the blessings that you have. What are people gonna say? And so you can't keep in the background. You got to come to the forefront. You gotta, just be obedient to God, because you're accountable to God. You're not accountable to man. So we don't care what they say. We don't care about they, and so we always listen to they, but we don't know who they are. But they are in the way, and they are getting out of the way now.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny that you say that, because that's exactly what I wanted to talk tonight about, is just fear. But before I wanted to go into what my message is, or the message that I feel like I've been called to share with everybody, I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of my own personal background story. And it'll be really quick, nothing too crazy. But I was one of those people when I was younger that I really had to write everything down. Like if I was going to have a conversation with somebody, if I had an interview with somebody, anything like that, I literally would have to write down what they was going to say, what I might say in response to what they were going to say, just everything out, like just completely. And I was afraid to talk to people in general. I was afraid to forgive people. Just different things that was unnecessary, and I've learned to work through. My sister gave me a wonderful title for tonight. I'm going to give her credit for that because it was not of mine, but it's moving through fear. We have to learn that fear is a part of life. It's just what it is. And there's nothing wrong with being fearful or having that feeling, but we have to move through it. We have to push through it, go ahead and conquer it, and just and come out on the other side, amazing, better people because of it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's great that you mentioned fear as part of tonight's message, because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Um, when we decide to live in fear, we stay stagnant, and we don't progress at all. We end up being sad and depressed because we haven't made the choices that would make our lives easier. And so what ends up happening is that we're just like, oh gosh, if I don't do this, or if I do this, this thing is going to happen. And you never really know. Like, life can take you so many different ways, and so many different on so many different roads. And there's this saying that your the life that you want to live is just on the other side of fear. So if you make the choice to push through that, to move through that fear, there's so many different things that you can accomplish. And I feel like I've accomplished a lot in my life, just being like, you know what, forget the enemy. I'm going to conquer this fear. I'm going to move forward, and we'll see what happens on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, we definitely we stop our progression, we stop our increase, and ultimately our happiness, when we decide that we're going to live in fear and not move forward through it, not make the decision to just do it. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progression, and it makes it better. And we play how we practice. So if you practice every day to choose not to let fear keep you in the same position that you are in, there's no telling where you could be, what you could do, and whose lives you're going to change just by being the beautiful person that you are. So that's my message. My message is to move through your fears, take risks, pray first, meditate, all that, and then move forward, because it'll change your life. It really will.
Yes, yes. I love that. That is such a beautiful message, because what people don't understand, that the risks that you don't take,
Exactly.
are the like you said, your destiny is right on the other side of your fear. And so if you could just push past your fear, then you're right there. You're right
Mhm.
there to your destiny. I mean, that's even like in your business world, because I remember you sharing with me, I hope you don't mind me sharing that
Right.
for a long time you didn't do real estate
Yes.
because you was
Yeah.
afraid to go out there. And then you went out there, you took the test, and now you're selling $1 million homes. You are phenomenal. Like,
Thank
if
you.
you wouldn't have done it,
Mhm.
if you could have pressed past that sooner. And
Mhm.
that's all of us. Like, we're afraid to go to school, we're afraid to take a test. And
Mhm.
so our whole goal is to let everyone know that, listen, you you have a whole you're going to have a whole room full of women at the conference that's going to help you, that's going to give you the strategy that you need to push past fear. Because
Exactly.
anyways, fear is a liar. God
Fear
has
is
not
liar.
given us the spirit of fear. He's given us power, he's
Mhm.
given us love, and he has given us a sound mind. And
Mhm.
so we have to just press past on the other side. And some of us are afraid about what's on the other side. And so let us tell you what's on the other side. It's commission checks, it's it's
Success,
paydays.
happiness, growth, other countries. All
Yes.
that.
Yes,
Yes.
because you travel all the time. And
Yeah.
sometimes you even travel by yourself. So
Mhm.
I'm sure
Yep.
that has to be very fearful. I'm sure the first
Oh gosh.
international airline ticket that you bought was very intimidating,
Oh,
very fearful.
I have a quick story for you for you guys.
Okay, good.
So, in 2007, there was so many changes that were going through my life at the time. And one of the biggest ones was that I lost my mom. I know you know that, Lori, but I
Yeah.
lost my mom, and my mom had always wanted to travel. That was one of her big things, but she just never did for whatever reasons. She had us to take care of, me and my sister. She had her own fears that she had to, deal with. And my mom, she passed when she was really, really young. She was only 51 when she passed.
Yeah.
And that year, she passed that January. That March, I was like, I've never been out of the country. I've never been on a plane. I've never taken a vacation away from my kids. I've never been away from my husband. I'm about to do all that. I was just
Yeah.
like, I have to do this for myself. And I just felt like I felt like it was going to be a learning experience, but it was perfect. It taught me a lot about myself, what I wanted out of life, where I wanted to go through life, what I wanted to
Mhm.
teach my girls, what I wanted to teach my son, how I wanted to be a better wife for my husband, all types of stuff. There were so
Mhm.
many different things I learned through that experience, going out of the country and being on a plane and having to get a passport. I did all of that in like, less than 6 months. Like I said, I think I chose to go. I made the decision that I was going to go that March. And that July, I was on a plane and I was there for a month. And I learned so much about myself and conquered so many fears. I ate weird food. I had alligator and steak. It was crazy.
Ooh.
I went horseback riding. It was just so many different things that I experienced that I never would have had I not just said, let me do this. And
Mhm.
honestly, I miss my mom every single day, but that was
Yes.
a catalyst for me to say, I'm not going to keep living in fear, because I know that my mom, she wanted so much for me and my sister. She wanted us to be, fearless. She wanted us to
Yes.
go there and experience things that I know that she didn't herself. And I was like, I didn't want to let my mom down. I wanted to be the person that I knew my mom wanted me to be. And I knew that she would be proud of me. I know she's proud of me for getting on that
Yes.
plane and taking those steps to try something new. And the experience that I gained from that is just, I can't even begin to describe to you how it carried me through so many years of my life.
Yes.
It really has. It really has.
Well, I am so happy that you just punch fear in the face and that you're going to be at the conference. And so you will be able to impact so many women and help them because they'll be able to be in the room. Listen, women, if you don't get in the space with these fearless women that have been where you are, they have been where you are. They've been afraid to travel. They've been afraid to take the test. They've been afraid, to just set goals. Some people are afraid to even set
Mm-hmm.
the goal, but I'm here to encourage you that if you write the vision and you make it plain and then
Yes.
you speak it out loud. When you
Mm-hmm.
speak it out loud, it's almost like it's real. Like even with the
Mm-hmm.
affirmations, when you
Yes.
say I am fearless, that have to give you some kind of energy that goes through your body to make you feel like you are fearless. And so no matter where I think it's a song that says, let the poor say that I am rich. So
I
if
am.
you're dealing with financial strain right now, if you begin to just say, I am rich, and
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to go through those doors. Don't be afraid to buy that airplane ticket. Don't be afraid. There's so many other women that are out there that
Mm-hmm.
wish that they could, and
Mm-hmm.
you can.
You can.
And
Sometimes it just takes a little bit of planning, but you can do it. Just
yes.
right, like she said, write it down, make it plain, figure out what you got to do, and under your goal, you need to write steps. Okay, so if I want, for instance, this travel thing, if I want to travel, what do I need to do to travel?
Mm-hmm.
There's this saying that a lot of people say, rich people don't say, I can't afford something. They say, how can I afford something? Or, I can't blah, blah, blah. How can I do this particular thing? And it's important because it's your life. You only get one. And it's important for you to make the decisions for yourself to have the experiences that you want to have, because the enemy will rob you of your happiness.
Absolutely.
And being fearful will rob you of your happiness. So you have to push through that for sure, move through your fears.
Absolutely. That is so true. That is so true. And one of the biggest things is um what you say. That was powerful what you just said. What you speak is what you are. It's
Mhm.
like if you say, I can't afford it, then you're speaking to your finances and telling your finances when
Mhm.
you have the power to tell money to do whatever you need it to do, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
we serve Jehovah Jireh, which is our provider. And so
Yeah.
if you're so basically you'll be like, oh, you're giving Jehovah Jireh the hand, like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't afford that. Yes, you
Right.
can. You
Yep.
can you can speak it out. Whatever
Yep.
you speak it out. If you say well, I can't do that, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not old enough, or I'm too old, right? In my case, I'm too old. But if you don't do that, if you speak out what
Mhm.
it is that you want, then you will have it. You
Mhm.
speak, the power of life and death
You
lies
do.
in our words, in our tongue.
It
And so if
is.
we're saying, I can't, I don't know how, even if you say you don't know how, then
Mhm.
you just figure out how to do it. If you
Exactly.
don't know how to, there's somebody, if there's nobody in your circle who can teach you how,
Mhm.
then you might need to move your circle. I'm just
Yep.
saying.
Or find a mentor, or Google is your best friend. There's so many things that you can learn through Google, through YouTube, and don't just use one source, because I know people are like, oh, but there's so much misinformation out there. And yes, there is. But there's a place called Barnes and Noble, and they have books on pretty much any subject you can imagine. If you don't want to go to Barnes and Noble, to a physical bookstore, go on Amazon, go on
Mhm.
Audible. You can learn the skill set that you need to move through your fears. Um, Ask questions, talk to people that you've never talked to, see what they do. If they do something that you do or want to do, ask them how they did it.
Yes,
Everybody's story is different, and you never know who might have a story similar to your own.
that's true. That is so true. That is so true. Or an experience, right? So
Mhm.
someone else may, like with you, you already have the key to traveling alone. So
Mhm.
if it's my first time traveling alone, then I may want to, call you,
Mhm.
inbox you, do something like, how do
Mhm.
I keep myself safe? How do I,
Yep.
and see, that's another thing too. We'll talk ourselves out of things based
Yes,
on something that happened to us in
we
the
really
past.
will. Mhm.
Yes, because if something traumatic happened to us in the past, or if we see something on the news, like going to Florida, somebody said, well, I don't want to go to Florida because they have craters there. And I'm like, well, all of Florida don't have craters. They also
Right.
said California is going to sink, but
Yep.
you cannot go because there's been millions of people that traveled to Florida and they didn't fall into a crater. There's
Exactly.
been hundreds of thousands of women that have traveled alone. They
Mhm.
even have travel groups
They
that
do.
will
They do.
you can travel with a group of women and or group of whoever.
Mhm.
Churches go on travel groups, different things. And so
Mhm.
whatever it is that God has ordained you to do, or
Mhm.
whatever he has assigned to you,
Mhm.
you have to come out of agreement with the fact that you think you can't do it. Who told
Exactly.
you that you can't? Because
Exactly.
our word says that we can do all things through
Through
Christ
Christ.
who strengthen us. Don't
Exactly.
think that just because we're on this live that we weren't afraid to come on here.
Oh, I had butterflies like you would not believe. I said, daughter, I had my daughter pray for me. I was like, Kina, will you please pray for me?
Yes.
Because I feel,
Yes.
but to speak to your point, uh, I'm sorry, I missed what I wanted to say, so I
It's
apologize for
okay.
that. But yeah, you're right in a sense of, if you want to do something, you really just have to move forward in it. And it might take time. It doesn't have to be next week or 3 months from now. It might take years. It took me, gosh, I didn't even try to get my real estate license for 20 years. I was 17 years old when I first was like, you know what? I think I want to go into real estate. And I got my license 10 years ago. So, you know, that just aged me. But whatever. I got my license now. Can't nobody take it from me except for the
That's
commission.
right. That's right. And another thing to that point is if you wait, like let's say 17 and then you waited and you just did it 10 years ago, you
Mhm.
cannot um go back and say, look at how much money I made in 10 years. If I would have done it at 17, look how much money I would have made.
Right.
We cannot do that because life happens. And I'm just trying to encourage a person that may be listening and saying, well, Dad, I could have done this sooner, or I could have done. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do that,
Oh,
because
definitely.
yeah, don't do that, because the scripture says that whatever the cankerworm, the locust, and all of that, whatever it ate up and stole from you, God will restore years onto your life. And I'm looking at you. You are beautiful. You don't look too far from 17, okay? So God has restored your life so that you can enjoy, and so that your grandchildren can enjoy. And so, so you haven't lost anything. And so I want to encourage the person out there that may be wanting to go and do something, real estate license, go back to college and get your associate's degree or your bachelor's degree or whatever the case may be. It is never too late. As a matter of fact, you'll probably do better in school at 50 than you did at 20, at 18 or 20, because you won't be playing around, going to parties and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
you
so,
know what's at stake. You know what's at stake, and you know what you want out of that experience. So yeah,
yes,
it works out. Yeah,
yes.
it really.
Now, Carla, you also speak other languages. So how many other languages do you speak?
I'm working on 7 languages. I'm only fluent in English and Spanish.
Okay.
But I do speak French, Italian, Korean, and right now I'm currently working on Arabic. I would like to. I'm one of these people. I love to travel, but it's really important for me to at least know basic working knowledge of the language whenever I get to that other country, so that when I'm there, I can be respectful and at least use some of the some of the general formalities, like, hello, thank you, ask for food in that language, ask for help in that language, all that stuff. But also, it makes for a much better experience. You know how we're here in America, and a lot of times people go, I don't know why they don't speak American. Well, it's the same thing when we go somewhere else. When you go some other country and you're going to be there for an extended period of time, and you're not going to be right there where it's just touristy, it's important to learn at least a little bit of the language, just if nothing else but the word thank you in that language, so that you can speak to the locals or show gratitude. And you'll be surprised at how many people will open up to you, how many opportunities open up to you just by saying, merci, or whatever, in whatever language that you're trying to learn. And then there's so many opportunities in learning a language that you can do. One of the things that I did that I was fearful of, and when I went to that first trip, was I went to do a homestay program where you stay with a family, and within the home of the family that you stay in, you usually speak the country's language. So like when I went to Mexico for the first time, and obviously the language is Spanish. And in the house, we weren't allowed really to speak anything other than Spanish, but it makes your Spanish grow that much faster because you're not able to use your native tongue. And then a lot of times you meet so many other people from so many different places that you ultimately your common language will be whatever language you're learning. And that in and of itself, I still have a friend right now that's from Greece. She lived in Greece at the time, and she's done a lot of traveling and everything. Her name is Roxana. So Roxana, if you're watching, hello.
Hey, Roxana.
She's from Greece. I met her back in 2007, and I still talk to her via email every now and again. We're both very busy, but we try to stay in contact. And that's one thing that you don't realize, who you'll meet through your experiences, nor do you know who you'll bless through your experiences. So it's important to share your story, to try new things, and just do what you can to conquer your fears.
Yes, that is so true. Is there anything, before we go, we only have a few minutes, is there any one particular advice that you would give to a woman that maybe she's been stuck in a dead-end job, or she's just so afraid to even get out of her comfort zone, but she has so much in her. She has so much potential in her. She what would you say to that woman?
Oh gosh, it's so funny that you asked me that question because I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday. Um, but my advice to people that are in any particular situation, but we'll just say a job for this particular example. If you're in a job, say that you love it, but it's just not a job that you make a lot of money in, and you would like to grow within your field because it's just something you love to do. And in this particular example, the girl worked in a deli. And I was like, yeah, but you got a boss, don't you? Figure out what your boss do and, move forward in that, figure out what skill set she has or what he has and learn about what you need to do to keep your OSHA standards, how to refrigerate food properly, how food transports, who works for the companies that transports the food to you or, the deli meat and all that stuff. Because just because you start a job in this one space doesn't mean that you can't grow in that space. And the best thing to do is become valuable in the company that you're in or in the space that you're in. And you might have to move one or two companies because sometimes people don't see your value, and that's okay. It's not for them to see your value. It's for you to know your value and seek out the opportunities that's going to give you the experience that you want to have within that space. So
Yeah.
my advice to somebody who's going through that is don't say, that's not my job, because I know there's a lot of people that if they do a specific job, they're like, well, I don't want to learn anything else because they're not paying me enough. It doesn't matter that they're not paying you enough. Learn the skill set where they can pay you enough. Learn a skill set where they will give you extra hours. Learn a skill set so if this company doesn't value you, you can go to a different company and they will see value in what you have to offer, because there's always somebody willing to pay more. There's always somebody willing to teach you more, but you have to be willing to learn and to accept the growth and the
You
and the patience
froze. I don't know if you can hear me.
that it takes to get to that point. Because everybody has a boss. Even the
Mhm.
president of the United States has Congress that tells them what to do. So if
Yes.
you think that you get to a point where you can't grow anymore, then it's time for you to do either something different or figure out who you need to be in the next step. So
Yes.
that would be my advice to somebody who's stagnant or stationary in their particular position, for
That
sure.
is so
Yeah.
good. That is so good. So
Yep.
basically, what you're saying is have forward moving thinking.
Yes.
Always be thinking forward. Don't
Yes.
be so sometimes people say you can't see the forest for the trees. So
Mm-hmm.
don't get so focused on the trees that you can't see, because once you get through the trees, most of the time there's a beautiful horizon.
Oh
And so
yes.
don't get so stuck that all you can see is your day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward, because if you're at a deli or any other type of job, it might not be that that deli is your forever job. Like we
Exactly.
forever house, that deli may not
Yeah.
be your forever job.
Mm-hmm.
You may just be working there so you can learn how to run a deli so you can own a deli.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so
Yep.
yes, thank you. That was so good. I really, really, really enjoyed having you on tonight. I cannot wait until you hit that stage, because I know as a mistress of ceremony, those nuggets, the thing I love about you the most is when you talk, nuggets just fall. It don't even matter.
Thank
It just
you.
it's in you. So it just comes out. And so it automatically, once you get the mic, they're gonna receive the nuggets. They're
Thank
going to know. And a lot of times, you just got to be in that space. It's one thing to be virtual, but
you.
when you can be in the space under,
Mhm.
the anointing of that person, under that, it's a difference. It's a difference,
It
you know.
is.
And so I truly appreciate you for coming on. And again, thank you so much for
Oh, you're
being our
welcome.
mistress of
Oh,
ceremony. I look forward to it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you for having me and trusting me with this position. I can't wait to see you all out there. If you have not gotten registered, please register. Register tonight. Leave this live right now and go and register. Come back and watch
Yes,
the rest of it. But
yes, yes,
but
yes,
share this
yes.
with your friends. Share this with your family members. Anybody that you think who could receive anything from this message. Register for your tickets for June 28th and 29th. at the Mocha Theater, correct?
Yes, the Museum of Contemporary Arts, Mocha, yeah, in Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm. And come and see us. We'll be there live.
Yes,
Energy is
yes,
going to be amazing. The energy is going to be so amazing. I can't
yes,
wait.
yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know that you are busy. Also, what is your YouTube? She is like the YouTube queen. What?
Wow.
How do they reach out to you on social media?
So you can follow me or reach out to me at charliecoconuts@gmail or charliecoconuts at any um, pretty much all your platforms. I honestly haven't been very active there, but I will have content coming very, very soon. Please follow, like, and share. I do have vlogs and videos and posts that I've shared previously. So take a look at those. I definitely appreciate feedback as well. So if you have any information or if you have anything that you would like to hear from me, I can do that. And then I just started I'm in the middle of working on it, but it's the Paris workshop, and we have not really retreats, but workshops for couples that are either right at the premarital stage or once you've been married. Because I've been married for, like I said, about 30 years. So I feel like I have a lot to share when it comes to that.
Yes.
So if you're interested in any of that type of information, come find me, DM me.
Yes. I
I,
can't wait for the
I will
marriage
help
thing.
you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. Everyone, please, please don't forget to register at www.shebelong.com. Register when you go on to the website. If you have a group of 10 women, you would register for 10 for 10, but the 10th person would be free. So you
Okay.
will pay for 9 instead of 10. And we will be at the MoCA, the Museum of Contemporary Arts in Virginia Beach, June 28th through the 29th. And again, that website is www.shebelong.com. And if for some reason you can't find all the information that you need, please feel free to call me. Try to find your information on the website. I don't want to really get inundated, but I know that some people don't, you might have some additional questions. So I'm okay with that. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share this broadcast. If you're listening on YouTube, please like, share, and join in to my YouTube channel so that you can keep abreast of all the upcoming events and all the things that we have going on. All right. Love you. Remember that you belong and you should live life in total victory.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I will
Thank
see
you.
you guys soon.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
you guys.
Love you too.